Welcome back to the Sense of Life podcast. I'm Joe,
And I'm Cody.
and today we're coming at you a bit later than usual. That is because we've actually decided to change our upload schedule. So instead of
Yes.
going up on Monday night, or I guess Tuesday morning, depending whenever I end up actually getting the video processed, or it gets uploaded to the podcasting services.
Yeah.
We're switching that to Thursday. So uh, at you Thursday now, I guess.
Yes.
Uh, and we're still doing the episode we had planned for this week, which was two Hong Kong action film, I guess action comedies. Um,
Yes. Starring Jackie Chan.
One of them not quite starring Jackie Chan,
Well,
but
yeah.
yeah. Initially,
With Jackie
the
Chan in them.
yeah, initially the idea was to do Police Story 1 and 2.
Yes.
Um, and we watched the first one, and we were like, "Oh man, that was great. Let's put on the second one immediately." And we immediately started watching Police Story 2, and about halfway through the movie, we were like, "Man, like I'm barely awake. This is not doing it for me."
Yeah.
So
And like all through, like then I had said to Joe, I was like, well, let's just like pick it up in a couple days. We'll finish the movie. And every hour leading up to when I was going to do that, I was just dreading watching it because I was like, I did not have a good time watching Police Story 2.
yeah,
So I was like, why don't we pick another one? And maybe that'll be okay. Spoiler alert, it was not okay.
no, it was not. It was not good. So instead of Police Story 2, we picked we picked
Clicked.
we
Yeah.
picked My Lucky Stars, which is a movie that exists and
Yeah.
has Jackie Chan in it, and they kind of like pull you in with an opening scene that has Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Even though I think Police Story is the movie we have a lot more to say about.
Yeah.
Starting with My Lucky Stars, just because
I gotta get it off my chest.
it just wasn't very good. The like opening sequence has Jackie Chan in it, and then the rest of the movie is following the five Chinese stooges, who
Yeah.
nothing racist about that statement. They're just like the Three Stooges, but Chinese, and there's five of them. So,
Yeah.
uh, and
Also, apparently, this is a second film in a series.
oh shit, did we actually just fucking we watched a sequel?
Yeah, we
Second
did.
in the Lucky
Yeah.
Stars series. Oh, oops. My bad.
Well, I won't be continuing that series.
Yeah, it
Just letting
wasn't
you know
very
right
good.
now.
And it's like a crime drama comedy thing going on where like
Yeah.
the opening of the movie has Jackie Chan and his partner, um don't remember his fucking I don't remember anyone's name.
Kid stuff,
Kid
or is
stuff.
he?
Eric.
Oh, Eric.
They list four names for this guy.
Eric.
Eric, the Chinese guy Eric. And
No, I don't think
I
that's
don't even think
him.
that's like a I don't even think that's like a localization thing with like a dub where they have the name Eric there, because I'm pretty sure I remember
Yeah.
Jackie Chan screaming Eric.
Yeah, no. Eric was Jackie Chan's partner, like that ends up getting kidnapped by ninjas.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
this
that
movie
happens in this
starts. Is
movie.
they're like in Japan, and they're like trying to catch these Japanese criminals, and the Japanese criminals just have ninjas at their disposal, which is like what you would expect from like a racist old like 70s film where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
we're going with like an Asian kind of layer with this movie, so we'll put ninjas in it or something. But it's like Hong Kong directors being like, what do the Japanese have? Oh, they have ninjas, right? Yeah, the modern criminal syndicates use ninjas.
yeah. Um, Yeah, so it opens up with this like pretty spectacular like chase scene between um it's Jackie Chan and his partner, and they are searching for, I don't even fucking remember what they're trying to do.
They're like,
They're chasing someone through this
it's like an amusement
Disney
park.
World.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney World kind of thing. It was really cool. Um, and then that stuff ends. They fight ninjas. That's cool. It's shot really well. Not as well as Police Story, but it's shot really well. And that's where my interest in the movie ends.
Yeah, the rest of this is just really bad, like slapstick comedy, and
Yeah,
like I've watched some pretty funny slapstick comedy movies. It's not even necessarily
Police
that
Story.
like, yeah, it's not even necessarily like, oh, it's just like too Chinese or something. Where you're like, the
Yeah,
context from where this is coming from is like too foreign to me that I don't get it. It was literally like it just wasn't good. Um, and I started to realize it really was quite bad. Uh, at this certain part in the movie where they're like hanging out with this lady.
yeah.
I don't know if they were protecting her or what the I don't. This plot was nothing.
No idea.
The
No
plot
idea what's
to this
happening.
movie was nothing. um, they're like hanging out with this lady, and um, they all find her very attractive. So, four of the five of them decide to dress up as ninjas and pretend to break in and steal things because ninjas breaking into your house are
Yeah,
a common occurrence when you're in Japan. So four ninjas break in and they tie the guy up. They tie up one of their buddies with the lady and
yeah,
then run off and just leave them tied up there while one of them gets out of his ninja outfit and runs in. He's just like he unties them and then he's like, "Oh, go call the police." And then he stands in there with her. And then that guy goes and gets into the ninja outfit. And then they all come in again and tie and they did the joke like 3 times in a row and I was like,
yeah.
is this really
And
like the bit they're going for?
I was like half paying attention, and Joe pointed out that this joke has happened like 3 different times, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh yeah, it
he didn't even
has.
know what was going on. I was like, yeah, that's just them tying each other up with this woman. Uh
Yeah, so they would be like smushed together,
yeah, yeah.
basically.
And then one of them
Um,
gives up the act at the end because they were going to tie them up separately, and he's immediately like, "How come you guys all got to be tied up with her?" It's just like, is this funny? Like, did people find this funny? I didn't. I know that.
I no way, Jose. There is one last kind of jolt of energy when Jackie Chan comes back in the movie. Because by the way, this movie is kind of sold as like a Jackie Chan star vehicle.
Yeah,
He's in the movie at the beginning for about 10 minutes and the end for about 20 minutes.
yeah, yeah. He has very little screen time for being like the name that they're billing the movie with. Um,
Yeah.
and
It's like the opposite of those like Bruce Willis movies he was doing toward the end of his career, where they get him for one day, but he'd be in like a lot of the movie.
yeah, yeah.
This one they had Jackie Chan the whole time, and he's in like none of the movie.
Yeah, those Bruce Willis ones just make me sad because of his cognitive decline now. Where it's like how much of
Yeah,
those like more recent ones were just like getting a guy who's not mentally well just to get like a fucking check or whatever.
yeah,
Pretty fucked up. But no, this movie was just like Jackie Chan, his image and his like the iconography of Jackie Chan
yeah,
as like this superstar, uh, being used to sell this movie, and then using him for the beginning and end. I will say I was kind of surprised at some of the stunts that some of the other guys were pulling off in
yeah,
like the final fight scene, the last like 20 minutes or so. Like some like the fat guy, I was like, he's actually pulling off some pretty decent like stunt work, like the
yeah,
falls
yeah.
and stuff. I was like, that's actually pretty good.
I do think it's kind of cool. The like genesis of this movie is all of these like actors in this were like, including Jackie Chan, were all in like an opera theater group,
Yeah,
and they all just decided to make movies, and
yeah.
that's cool. Like, I like that.
That's cool. It just kind of sucks that
The movie sucks.
yeah. Um, there was like a couple of moments that did genuinely make me laugh because like at the end of the
Yeah.
movie, there's like this huge fight sequence going on, and there's like this muscular Japanese lady that is fighting the like main female lead of the movie, and she's like kicking her ass,
Mhm.
and they both get launched through a wall into a room where one of the male leads is standing, and like this Japanese lady, she's pretty buff, right? She's got like pretty clear visible muscles and stuff, and she's like flexing. And I jokingly said like, "Oh, he's gonna one tap her, like he's gonna punch her in the face, and she's just gonna go down." And then about 5 seconds later, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, just fucking punched her in the face, and she just flew backwards. And that was
Crazy.
probably the funniest joke in the movie. Was like she was holding her own against these other people, and then that dude just knocked her out clean. And she didn't show up for the rest of the movie, as far as I'm aware. Like she just stayed knocked out.
Yeah.
Um, if you ask me to describe how this movie's plot was resolved, I honestly can tell you I don't remember. I don't remember
I
if they got the guy back. I don't
I
remember what the fuck happened.
I don't even remember if we watched the movie, to be quite honest.
I just know that the ending was a bunch of action, and they were like walking together at the end of the movie, and it just ended. I was
Yeah,
like, okay.
yeah. And they did like the Beatles Get Back or whatever with the jumping up in the air or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they
Uh,
were doing a "Don't Stop Believin'"
yeah,
freeze frame. Uh,
Glee cast version.
and Jackie Chan's character was named Muscles.
Yeah.
That's what I remember about this movie. None of the other guys. I'm looking. I do. You know what? I do remember that one guy being called Roundhead. That's what it says on the Wikipedia. They called him like the bit with that character was they called him Roundhead.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, just like the peak of Chinese comedy. His head is round.
Yeah, so apparently there is a first film in this trilogy called Winners and Sinners,
Oh.
and a third film called Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars.
Is Jackie Chan in either of those other ones?
That is a good question. Let's look it up.
Lucky Stars series. I see it right.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's in the first one,
Okay.
and he also appears to be in this third one. So he's in the whole series.
Okay.
I don't know if I will watch the rest of them.
I don't think I will be.
I might have to pass on that, to be quite honest. Yeah. Since that's about all I had to say about that movie. What do you think?
Don't watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was.
I do. You know what? I do remember one other thing about this movie was when they went to the fucking gambling den and they were playing Chohan, the gambling game where you just guess whether the dice are even or odd under the up. And you were
Such
like,
a bizarre game.
You were like, I don't even know what's going on. And I was like, yeah, the only reason I know what's going on here is because this fucking gambling game is in Yakuza and I've played it before.
Yeah, you might as well just gamble on someone flipping a coin.
Yeah,
like what?
That's essentially all it is. You're just guessing. I guess.
Maybe there's more drama to there being a die. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
As far as the game actually goes in Yakuza, the way that they kind of make it more interesting is you can also try to guess the specific dice combination for like an insane like modifier to your winnings, or like you can bet that it'll be snake eyes or something. It's literally, other than that, essentially mostly what you're doing is just 50-50 guesswork as to whether the total is going to be odd or even. But yeah, that was the only other scene I remember from the movie. And I was like, yeah, they just have like a lady that did a cool trick with the dice and the cup, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not very memorable. I almost forgot to even mention it.
Yep, that is My Lucky Stars. Director is Sammo Hung, who also stars in the movie.
Oh.
He was bad.
He was the
He was kid stuff.
Yeah.
I think he was the one that got kidnapped, or was he the fat guy that was the lead? That's the one that I'm confused about.
The issue is, and this is not like all Asians look alike. This is all their pictures on their Wikipedia are them when they're old, and I cannot,
Yeah.
I can't really, and some of them don't even have pictures on their Wikipedia, so it's like it's hard to tell if that's the same guy. Maybe if
Yeah,
I
this
watched more movies with them in it, I would be able to better tell from their pictures of them when they're older compared to what they looked like in this, because this came out in 1985, so
yes. Yes.
not
Both of these movies came out in
not terribly
1985.
old, but people aged. uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, I mean it'll be 40 years old next year, so.
shit. Um, if that's all
um
we have to say about that Police Story, holy fuck.
yeah, before we get to Police Story proper, this is a directorial effort from Jackie Chan himself, and he also stars in the movie.
Yeah.
It's very, very much a kind of Buster Keaton type of vibe that you get from Jackie Chan. Um, do you have a giant history with Jackie Chan? I thought I had a bigger one, but it really was only a few movies that I saw as a kid.
Uh,
Uh,
well, I watched the some of the Rush Hour movies when I
yeah,
was
there's
younger.
3 of them.
And
I
honestly, I
have
don't
not
think
seen those.
I honestly don't think I've seen that many like Jackie Chan movies. I watched the really bad Karate Kid movie that he was in.
I watched that one too. I still have not seen the original Karate Kid.
It's a lot better than the 2010. Yeah,
I
2010.
Yeah, it probably is, but I did watch the 2010 one when it came out, and I liked it,
Yeah.
but I was also, like, a child when I
Right,
saw it.
right, yeah. The funny thing about
Um,
that movie is they're learning kung fu, not karate.
yeah.
Like karate is Japanese, but they still called it Karate Kid even though he's in China learning kung fu. Like, the thing
Yeah.
the thing with the original Karate Kid is like um I think the actor's name is Pat Morita.
Maybe.
Oh fuck, I'm looking. He plays Mr. Miyagi, who I don't know if you can tell by that name is Japanese and actually teaches him karate. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I assume Jackie Chan's probably good in that movie. But it's been so long since
I
I've seen it.
it's been, like, so long since I've seen it. I had also seen a movie called The Spy Next Door that came out the same year.
It sounds familiar.
I vaguely remember watching this movie. I couldn't tell you a single thing about it. But the one movie that I do remember, and I remember liking it quite a bit, was The Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and they were like fighting each other, and that was like the big sell of the movie.
Huh?
That came out in 2008. Um, again, couldn't really tell you much about it,
Right. Yeah, I
but I remember it being cool.
I knew who he was when I was young. Um,
Yeah.
there was
Also,
always
Kung Fu Panda as well. I don't know.
yeah. I guess he is in Kung Fu Panda, isn't he? He plays the
The
monkey.
monkey. Yeah.
uh, it's funny because like when I was a kid, my grandfather. I've mentioned him like several times on the podcast now of just him like watching old movies all the time.
Yeah.
But like he would like show me YouTube videos of Bruce Lee and shit. And he'd be like he kind of just made me like I knew who Jackie Chan was. I knew who Bruce Lee was, even though before I had seen any movies with either of these people in them.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like I guess he just instilled this like respect for like
Yeah.
these like martial artist action stars, and I was like, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of dope that we like have this like cultural desire to like revere these like um what's the word I'm looking for? Um like physically gifted and talented
Right.
people even without the context of what they achieved.
Yeah, yeah. I think more children today need their parents and grandparents to just like tell them about random like super famous celebrities from decades upon decades before they were born, just so that they like
Yeah.
know something about the world from before they were born. It's like
Yeah,
you encounter a shocking number of people that have like they haven't watched like more than like a handful of movies that came out before they were born. Uh, and it's kind of weird to think about. Just like
Well,
ask
Jackie
some.
Chan was also in a movie Around the World in 80 Days, based on the Jules Verne novel, of course.
Oh,
Uh, I think I saw this. It
perhaps.
sounds so. I'm gonna go ahead and put the watched icon on my letterboxd,
Yeah.
but it looks familiar.
It's a hesitant watched. You're looking away from your mouse and one
Yeah,
eye peeking as you click on it. Not too
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The only other history with Jackie Chan I have is my mom was kind of obsessed with the movies Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights,
yeah,
which I have not seen.
right.
But I need to because they co-star Owen Wilson, who is great.
Wow. As
Yeah.
he says
Wow.
frequently. um,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
honestly,
So
I recently I was kind of saying, I don't know if I said it. I think I might have said it on the podcast where I said kind of want to watch more. Like we've been doing a lot of Japanese films, but I haven't really watched all that much Hong Kong stuff.
yeah,
Um,
My Lucky Stars has kind of made me not want to.
I mean, uh, I really liked Police Story, and I really
I did
like
too. Yeah.
Hard Boiled. I'd like to see more John Woo.
Yeah.
Um,
I need I think the only John Woo I've seen is Face Off. I
yeah,
need to
that's like
watch.
post Hong Kong. Like that was his first Hollywood film,
Yeah. 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 My mom
and
was obsessed with that movie too.
that movie has a great scene where, like near the end of the movie, they're in a church, and
Yeah.
John Travolta strikes the Jesus pose on the cross. And then it cuts. It does like a bunch of these flashy cuts, and one of them is to the statue of Jesus on the wall doing the cross thing, as if you wouldn't get that that's what he was going for with his pose.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
there's
some
there's a scene in
insane.
the beginning of the movie at a church that's hilarious too,
Yeah.
with Nick Cage like grabbing the like
Oh yeah.
opera
The
singer's ass
yeah yeah.
while singing.
Oh man. There's also some great like line deliveries from John Travolta because apparently like when they were making that movie, this is the detour. This podcast episode we're talking about John Woo.
Yeah,
Um, and it's like I guess they were really trying to ham up their impression of the other person
yeah. Right, yeah.
when they were. So it was like John Travolta really trying to like do a parody of Nick Cage, and Nick Cage trying to do a parody of John Travolta, and it's it's pretty wild. There's like a part near the end when they're in that same church
Insane
scene.
movie.
It is insane. There's so many shots where it's blatantly a stunt guy too. Whenever they're doing it, like it's clearly not John Travolta or Nick Cage, but when they're in the church,
Right, yeah.
and everyone's drawing guns on each other, uh, the like former love interest of Castor Troy's character shows up, and she's pointing a gun at John Travolta, who is actually Castor Troy because of the whole face-off thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and she walks in pointing a gun, and he goes, he says what the fuck, but he says it like a moody teenage girl, and it's the funniest delivery. Like it's the only thing I remember from the scene besides the Jesus pose and the doves everywhere. Uh, just a fucking psychotic film, and like has a weird like sci-fi dystopia oil rig prison sequence where they have like magnet boots. Do you remember this sequence in the
No.
movie?
It's been years since I've seen it.
The middle of
Yeah.
the movie, there's a scene where uh John Travolta's character, who is in the who has the face of Nick Cage, is, and everyone thinks
Yeah.
he's Nick Cage's character. They think he's like this international terrorist guy. He gets arrested and sent to like this maximum security oil rig prison, and all the prisoners in the prison wear these magnetic boots, so that if there's ever like a riot, the guards can just turn on the magnetic floors and then nobody can move. Just a fucking insane thing to put in your movie.
Yeah.
To the point where for a second there, I thought I might have accidentally been describing something from a different movie. Like I had just fucked up. But no, it really is from that movie. It's so out of place.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
totally off topic, but I just saw someone on Facebook say that O.J. Simpson can rest easy knowing that his wife's killer is dead.
Yeah. If only Norm were with us, he would have a field day today, dude.
Yeah.
There was
He
a
kind of already did have a field day in like 94, whenever it was.
Yeah, he had like the greatest tour of OJ jokes. Just like there's like I saw someone
Yeah.
uploaded like a 12-minute compilation on Twitter today. There's like
Yeah,
every
yeah.
OJ joke that he did.
Is that the one where this might be a different one where that like classic Norm line was like, I this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved with this story should die.
I don't I think that was something else. But I do
I think
know
it was
the
too.
first one that he did after he was acquitted was he went on and he's like, well, it's official, murder is legal in the state of California. And there was like a there was like some sport like an award thing or something. I am not a sports fan, so I couldn't tell you these like trophies and shit. It
Yeah.
was like some guy was getting an award, and then Norm was just like, and no one can take that away from you unless you kill your wife and a waiter. It's just everyone in the audience was just like covering their faces. But yeah, O.J. Simpson died today. I guess that dates this
Yeah.
episode,
Not exactly sad news.
April 11th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also worth mentioning is that now this was a coincidence to my understanding. Is that Jackie Chan, his birthday was
Mhm.
April 7th, which was the day
Oh,
before we were originally
4
going
days
to
ago.
upload this episode.
Yeah.
Originally would have gone up on the 8th, but we moved the upload date to Thursdays now. So yeah, almost on Jackie Chan's birthday, but I don't think that you intended that when you were like, let's watch these Jackie Chan movies.
Nope.
Yeah, we seem to come
I
across a lot of
I
coincidental
rarely
uploads.
Yeah, I rarely have a plan with this podcast.
Yeah.
I shit out movies from my ass. And we just watch.
I suppose that's the only place you could shit out a movie. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because I was like,
Yeah,
we watched Police Story and I was like,
Jackie Chan.
and
Yeah,
like
it's
it was like a
it's
day or
an
two.
interesting little marker.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a day or two after we watched the movie, and I went on Twitter and I saw like a bunch of tweets about Police Story. Oh, that's interesting. Wonder why that is. And it was like, oh, happy birthday, Jackie Chan. I was like, oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
That'll do it.
Well,
And
I just. Oh, sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna continue the conversation, but if you have more
Oh no, it was just
tangents to go down, we can.
I don't have any tangents. I'm focused. Task at hand.
Okay.
I think
just
this.
finishing up the chat on.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Is there?
Do you have something to say?
No, I was just going to say I can see why this is Jackie Chan, like one of his most famous movies.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
it rules.
Yeah, it's great. I was just perusing through the Wikipedia there, and apparently in 2012, Jackie Chan announced that he would be quote unquote retiring from action films, but he later clarified it was just not doing as many stunts because he was getting too old.
Right.
I mean, he's 70 this year, so I can kind of see why. He was in an action thriller, The Foreigner, with Pierce Brosnan. It's directed by Martin Campbell. It seems kind of cool.
Yeah, that one's like in the age of Islamic terrorism and like ISIS fucking killing hundreds of people in Europe. They made a movie where Jackie Chan is going after the IRA. It's a very strange time to release a IRA themed terrorist film, but that's that's what that movie is.
Well, the IRA seems historically quite sympathetic to the PLO and Hamas, so there could be a connection there.
Probably.
I don't know if the PLO still exists, but I think it did exist when the IRA was important, when they were Irishing up all over people. I don't know.
It's a party.
Um,
It's a party in the IRA when they're around.
my favorite Miley Cyrus song.
Where's the parody? Either party in the
Need it.
IRA.
Someone get Rucka Rucka Ali on the line.
uh, so
um,
yeah,
yeah, Police
Police
Story,
Story. It
1985,
was really good.
and
Um,
yeah, I what? How many movies had he done at this point? His first movie was as a director. I mean, um, fuck, what was it called? Something crazy. The Fearless Hyena was his first movie as a director again, and that was in 1979. Because he had been in been doing stunts and a bunch of different things, and had small roles in like Enter the Dragon and some early Bruce Lee pictures. Um, he had been around um, for a while. He's also a CCP shill. Um,
unfortunately,
yeah,
unfortunately true. Not a good thing to hear.
yeah. It wasn't. I think it happened around the time that like Hong Kong was about to be um, rematerialized into China or whatever. I don't.
Absorbed.
Yeah, and a lot of formerly Hong Kong filmmakers like Zhang Yimou was another example. They had to go back to mainland China to make films.
Yeah.
Jackie, however, like specifically became like gung ho for China, but Zhang Yimou was a little bit of an odd case as far as I can tell. Like he would make like the like weird like the Great Wall propaganda Matt Damon movies.
Oh yeah.
But he also made like a kind of, I think it was like basically an anti-COVID movie in 2020.
Oh jeez.
So like,
I
but
want to see a
it wasn't.
pro-COVID movie. Kill them all.
So like he's somehow able to make like the big budget like propaganda pictures and also like put in these little specific things. I don't know. I don't know what Zhang Yimou's politics are or like what he thinks about things, but apparently he's a good filmmaker. He did that movie Hero that Quentin Tarantino released in 2001.
Okay.
I haven't really seen any of his movies though.
Right. Yeah, it's it's really unfortunate that the Hong Kong thing kind of just like immediately got swept under the rug
Yeah.
when they invented COVID.
Oh my god, that's when it did happen,
Yeah.
didn't it? Like, oh, so when did they basically annex Hong Kong back? Was that like 2018, 2019?
The Hong Kong protests were going on like at the end of 2019 as far as I'm aware, and then COVID, like the first cases in China started appearing in like January. You would hear like news stories. I remember a
Yeah.
news story when COVID was still exclusive to like the Wuhan region, and there was like a news story about Chinese doctors being turned black by COVID. You remember this?
I don't remember
I
that at
just
all.
remember seeing pictures of like black Chinese people, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on in China?" I'll have to put a picture of one of them on the video version of this on YouTube. Just a picture of like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was.
I remember
terrible.
I remember like the early COVID stories that we got probably in like November of 2019 was like, "Oh, there's this weird thing going on in China." Ooh, ooh, ooh. But I think we were like too focused on Hong Kong to care.
Yeah.
And actually, if you go on like politics of Hong Kong, the Wikipedia page, at the end of Hong Kong extradition bill 2019, after the election, the protests slowly became quiet due to the COVID-19 pandemic and government crackdown.
Yeah.
So I think your conspiracy theory is correct.
It's just correct.
Yeah. So they released virus on the public to end democracy in Hong Kong, basically.
Yeah. just getting in our pro Hong Kong, anti CCP point in the
Yeah,
middle of our Jackie Chan episode.
our our pro Jackie Chan episode.
Our pro Jackie Chan, anti
um,
Jackie Chan's politics episode.
yeah, 2019 is such a weird year looking back on it.
Right.
It was a terrible year for me, but it's when we started the server was 2019.
Yeah.
It was the year I read Atlas Shrugged. Um, Also, just personal things were going wrong for me in 2019, and then 2020 happened. Um, which Atlas Shrugged became real. Although there's no like virus in Atlas Shrugged per se, but
Right.
the kind of end of economic prosperity, not that we really had it anymore, but
Mm.
the end of any possibility of it
It was the real
came
kickstart
cracking
for the
down.
impending competency crisis that is going to erupt in 15 years when the children that were
Yeah.
around for COVID that didn't get properly schooled are unleashed onto the world as adults.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from a guy I recently followed, Birdo.
Okay.
He I think he does that Ghost Jail podcast. It's like audio dramas. I listened to one of them that was very good called Hereafter Man.
Yeah.
Um, and he had posted like I people think we've like reached peak woke and it's waning, and I don't think anyone really understands that once the boomers die, that's when we'll reach peak woke, because that's
Ooh.
that's who's holding us together right now.
Yeah, there was a thing that was
Is
posted in the
the
server a couple
boomers.
days ago where someone had said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I think it was actually James, friend of the podcast, James. He's British, one of the few good
Yeah.
ones, and
Yes.
and
We don't hold it against him too
yeah,
hard.
yeah, and it was something he had said along the lines of like Gen Z is apparently like the most conservative generation of like the past few generations, and in my mind I was like, God, I hope so. And I don't even like really conservatives all that much, but it's just like,
Sure.
you know, if you're going to rebel against the insanity of your and the politics of your parents, you know, you might as well get rid of the shit that they're doing now that is like actually just evil.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I can't help but be cynical about that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, returning to Hong Kong as a issue in my head right now is kind of just making me sad.
Yeah.
So I remember that stuff, that being like a big, like giant story of like the end of capitalism in East Asia. And then it's just got swept under the rug because East Asian communism spread in the form of a bat-borne virus. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things where
Anyway,
like Hong Kong was, I think for the longest time, rated as one of any of those like economic freedom. I think it's called the Economic Freedom Index.
yeah, Economic Freedom Index.
Hong
Yeah,
Kong was always like number one this index,
yeah.
and I have to imagine if they're still doing such a thing, it's probably nowhere near the top anymore.
Let me look it up. I want to see if it's still a thing. Well, because Hong Kong doesn't exist anymore.
Right,
It's
because
part
it's
of China now.
just part of China.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a
Economic.
strange little bit of like East Asian history there.
Number one is Singapore right now.
Yeah, I guess Singapore. I mean, they have quite the economic freedom over there. But, as far as like their actual uh any sort of freedom they have for their free speech and stuff like that, apparently it's quite shit over there. And the cops will just like cane you for like spitting gum on the sidewalk or something.
Right. Um. Yeah, the top 10. It's the Heritage Foundation, which is like a conservative think tank.
Yeah.
It's Singapore, Switzerland, Ireland, Taiwan, Luxembourg, which I didn't know was a country. I thought that was a city. New Zealand, Estonia, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like that's changed recently, because I don't remember half of those on there.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
I don't think I really checked that thing since like I don't recall ever like looking at the economic freedom index post COVID, because I just always remember Hong Kong being like, number one.
Yeah, let's see if it's even on here anymore. I don't think it would be because it's not a country. Nope, it's not even on there.
Yeah, yeah, uh,
Fuck, that's sad, dude. I
yeah.
haven't thought about Hong Kong in years.
It's kind of funny to say like, oh yeah, we don't have much to say about My Lucky Stars. We have far more to say about Police Story. We've spent like the last 20 minutes just rambling about everything
Yeah.
but Police Story.
Yeah.
It's
So Police Story, a 1985 action comedy from Hong Kong, directed and starring Jackie Chan. It's the first film in a franchise that spanned, I think, 3 movies and a remake, I want to say. The remake came out about 10 years ago.
mm,
I think Jackie was in it, but I don't think he did too much in it. I don't know much about it. Um, I don't know how you would remake this movie because it's literally perfect.
yeah.
Um,
Also, just the way that they did every stunt in this movie is like something that would never be done today.
yeah,
The opening scene of this movie really sets the stage for like what you're about to get into, because they destroy a mountainside village in the most insane
yes,
car chase I've ever seen in a movie.
yeah, it's
Uh,
amazing.
like they're trying to arrest like this crime syndicate leader guy, and his him and his gang are in this like little, mountain like hillside village, and the bust goes horribly wrong, and Jackie Chan gets in a car, and they're uh, both ways on the road are blocked by like these giant cement trucks or something, and they decide the best way to escape is to literally just crash through these like shanties on the side of the hill. It's just like this crazy sequence of just real cars smashing through like practical buildings.
Yeah,
Uh, probably one of the coolest like opening sequences to a movie, like an action movie I've ever seen.
yeah, it
Just
was
don't see it like
incredible.
that.
Um, I I don't know that there's too much to say about like the plot overall. I think we can just give a basic rundown of what happens.
Yeah, I guess the entire like driving force of the movie is basically that like Jackie is he is a cop who isn't exactly known for following the rules,
Yeah,
and he is tasked with
he doesn't play by the
yeah.
rules.
I can see the trailer right now. He
A loose cannon cop that doesn't play by the rules.
yeah, he is tasked with protecting and trying to get the cooperation of the secretary of this like drug lord guy. Um
Yeah,
so like he kind of comes up with like this scheme to make her think they're trying to kill her. Although they actually at some point in the film they actually do decide to try and kill her. And there's just like a lot of slapstick comedy going on where like his girlfriend thinks he's cheating on her with this woman even though he's just protecting her, and um there's a pretty great sequence where uh, his girlfriend realizes or is informed that this is just a woman that he's protecting for his job, and she comes back to their
yeah,
apartment as he's in the shower, and he's like I don't he's just like trying to be cool or whatever, so he's like talking shit about his girlfriend, and she's just
yeah,
listening the entire time. Uh, just there's a lot of great like even like without the action, there's a lot of great not set pieces, but just like scenes where uh some pretty hilarious stuff happens. Like the whole scene where he's in the police station
taking
answering
all the
like
phone
50
calls.
phones,
Yeah.
and he's hanging up every phone on the wrong hook, and he's got like every
Yes.
wire tangled. Uh
Yeah, it's amazing. And then he tries to eat lunch and doesn't have the chopsticks for the noodles, so he gets a couple pencils.
he like tries to
And then
scrub
he
down the dirty part of the eraser, and then he's
yeah,
eating and he just eats the fucking ends of the erasers.
yeah. And he tries to cough them out and they just won't come out.
It's a fantastic action comedy film. Like one of the best that you could
Yeah.
watch out there. It's it and was My Lucky Stars also a Criterion thing?
It was on they were on Criterion Collection. I know Police Story, they put out, like I think they put out, like, a Jackie Chan collection, with the actual Criterion Collection,
Yeah.
but we just watched these on the Criterion Channel,
Right. Right.
um, because that's about the only streaming service I have right now.
It's one of the best.
It's I that and Tubi you don't have to pay for.
Yeah. Um.
Although you get, like, weird ads for, like, pharmaceuticals, and
Not
so,
here.
like
The ads that I get in Canada, it's like uh it seems they just have like two ads and it's like the gay Wendy's commercial or whatever the fuck it was. And
yeah.
there's one where it's just uh like University of New Brunswick or something, or like some sort of community college here, and they're like, come learn a trade at this trade school.
I do get some, like,
It's like,
University of Phoenix, like, that online university ads.
oh.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I think they call it, like, a for-profit university or something, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
same ad that I was just talking about with the like trade school one, I saw that when I went to see Dune 2 at the movie theater. So I was like, oh, they got the same ad here as on Tubi.
yeah, yeah. There what was a weird ad that I saw? Oh, yeah, the Burger King with their new jingle, "BK, have it your way." That
Yeah,
I get that a lot too. Um,
not a good jingle. Did
it's
we
really
talk about
bad.
this last time?
It's possible.
I distinctly remember talking to you about their new jingle, how you specifically don't have it your way. Like that makes more sense as like a thing for Subway to.
Yeah,
But
which I think was their old, slogan, "Subway, have it your way."
oh,
I th Am I
I don't know.
misremembering
I
that?
have no fucking idea. Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
I'll I'll go to the local maximum security prison and ask Jared Fogle what he remembers.
What do you remember, Jared? Uh,
He's incarcerated in Indiana, so
oh shit.
yeah.
Take a little drive down to see him. Uh, someone named Cody is here to see you, Mr. Fogel.
I bet you're wondering why I've called you here.
God.
Howling mutant tweet just develops right there.
Yeah. There was I actually referenced Jared Fogle in a conversation the other day with a friend of the
Yeah.
pod. He what did I say? He was talking about Jared Fogle, and then for some reason that like puppet show Fraggle Rock popped into my head, and I just DM'd him the word
Fogle
I just said
Rock.
Fogle Rock, and he said fuck you. Like that was it.
Was this Simon?
No,
Okay,
it was just fucking
that's fine.
stupid.
That just feels like a conversation with Simon.
Yeah, no, but yeah,
Anyway,
Police Story. It's actually kind of hard to talk about this movie because it's like, what do you? It's just
like
like
I said,
Jackie
it's an
Chan's.
unassailable masterpiece, so you really can't say
Yeah.
anything about it.
Uh,
Maggie Chung is in it. The other big movie of hers that I've seen is Irma Vep from the 90s,
okay.
directed by Olivier Assayas, who she also was married to briefly, I think. He's a French filmmaker, and he wanted to get this Hong Kong actress in a this French movie about a filmmaker remaking an old silent French film called Irma Vep. It's quite good. It's a very different movie because it's like a French drama starring Maggie Chung, and the opening scene takes place at a film production, like what is it called? Production studio, not that production house. Something. The production office. That's the name of the word. Because I had
Okay.
gone to like a meeting about the idea of a production office at some point, and I told the lady that gave the meeting about Irma Vep, and I tried to describe to her, but I couldn't get the words out because I was tired. That this movie Irma Vep from the 90s, this French movie, opens at a production office, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and it's like this fucking nerd. Totally understandable. Hey, Jackie Chan's name in this movie is Chan Kakui. And
Not
I
even
feel
gonna
like,
try to pronounce it.
yeah, I'm just gonna go for that.
Yeah.
Or Kevin.
Yeah.
Um, and I think they also called him Kakui in the fucking other movie. Am I misremembering that, or
No idea.
I don't
It
know?
also says on the Wikipedia that he's just referred to as Jackie in the second, third, and fourth English dubs of the movie. So they just like gave up. They're like, we're not even gonna try to have anything approximating his character's like Chinese name. We're not even
Yeah,
gonna go with Kevin, which like starts with the same consonant sound. He's just Jackie. Shut the fuck up. He's Jackie.
maybe like early on his career he wanted to be called Kevin, but then they're like,
Kevin Chan.
nah, I'm Jackie.
Yeah, maybe. Uh,
Maybe. I don't know. Is there is there anything else to say about Police Story? Watch it. It's great. It's fantastic.
yeah. The final sequence is also really good. Just
Oh
as like a
yes, yeah.
finale as well. When we were watching it and they went into the mall, I had known of the like stunt that Jackie Chan had done. Like this is what happens when you know about a movie star and you don't watch any other movies. Is like I knew
Yeah.
about the famous one where he slides down the pole covered in like lights, and he got like a bunch of burns from like being essentially electrocuted by breaking wires.
Yeah.
And like smashing through glass and all this other crazy shit. I knew that was like one of his crazy stunts that where he gotten seriously injured. I was like, oh, is that in this movie? And yeah, it was. um, it also does like the classic thing at the end where you've got the loose cannon cop who he doesn't really even kill anyone in this movie, but in the end, the lawyer of the criminal like the main bad guy shows up and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be in big trouble. I'm gonna sue you." And Jackie Chan just kind of loses his shit and just beats the fuck out of the lawyer, and then beats the shit
Yeah.
out of the like the main guy, and it's just kind of like this fuck your legal bullshit kind of thing. Like if I can't, if this is how it's going to be, I might as well kick the shit out of you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. It's a great movie. A lot of really cool sequences, a lot of really funny moments. Like unlike My Lucky Stars, which did not really make me
Have
laugh
any
at
of
all.
those things. Yeah, this was a um Police Story, that is, were was a movie that I was like laughing out loud
Yeah.
and multiple times. It's a great watch. You should watch it. Stop listening to us talk and just go watch it.
Are you listening to
Um,
us? You could be watching Police Story 1985.
yeah. And yeah, that's it. Jackie Chan, uh, commie piece of shit, but made some good movies.
Yeah, that's where separating the art from the artist really comes in hand.
Yeah, it's not when they're like a rapist or like a Republican or whatever. It's when they're a dirty commie. That's when you got to
Right.
separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
On that note, I don't know if you guys heard
Yeah, I heard
the fucking
sirens in the background of the
yeah.
mic there. I don't know. I'm sure that got picked up.
Jackie's on the way. Yeah.
It's over.
It's so over.
Your social
And
credit score went down so much in the making of this episode that they're coming to get you right now.
yeah. And then when we put it out, I'll just be dead.
Yeah. You will have been disappeared for months on end, and then they'll confirm your death later on.
Yes, yeah. And then they'll like AI my voice
Ugh.
into like a podcast. And yeah, anyway,
This
we'll be back next
podcast
week
episode
with
will end with a black screen and text on the screen that says, "After this episode, Joe and Cody turned themselves in to the Chinese authorities
yes.
and are currently serving life sentences."
You have to put that in the
Yeah,
video.
yeah. That's what they did. What movie was it where they did that? I think that was the ending of Fight
like
Club. The
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah.
ending of Fight Club, where they were like the terrorist plot was foiled, and the terrorists were arrested and are in police custody.
Yeah, you got to put something like that at the end of this episode.
We'll do it.
We'll be back next week with something, and it'll be hopefully more interesting. But I think we had a decent chat, even if it wasn't really about the movies at all.
Yeah, I guess so.
So like us on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, we're up to 294 subs now. We're almost at the 300 mark.
Yeah. We're not going to celebrate anything until we get to 1,000, but keep going.
I mean, I'm over here celebrating every sub. I get a YouTube notification that some guy with a Ukrainian name can subscribe to the channel. It's like, welcome to that guy.
I don't know. I'm not going to try to say Ukrainian name.
He comments. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, I said I hope that guy comments the
Ukrainian
guy.
I hope Buffo comments here soon.
Yeah, we've really missed his comments where he just says that we're gay.
And that we haven't covered the movie at all today. But yeah, we'll be back next week, probably with a couple movies, maybe something different. I don't know. It depends on my mood. And leave a review on the podcast services. I found out that apparently we are also on other podcast services that I was not keeping track of. So
we're just hanging out in places we don't even know.
Yeah, we got our information being stolen by Swiss terrorists. I don't know. We
got hoes (parentheses listeners) in different area codes. That sucked. It was fucking ass.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, I guess so. See you next time.